publicly accountable for their failure to follow the law and protect the American people. Mayor Johnson said the city's policies towards immigrants, which have been in place for 40 years, makes the city safer. Any actions that
Well, hello there, social media family. Again, as y'all, the subscribers and our visitors alike, affiliated or associated with, and are representing my own particular YouTube social media channel and our chat room, and are being a person among yourselves. How y'all doing? Well, hopefully everything is going okay with your persons or your same self. It's hopefully each and every one of you are feeling at least okay, if not better yet to be said on stage for the record, all right. Or if not, best of all, to be put like this here, whereas any could possibly claim, you and yours, your family, friends, and me and mine, that you have become or be of a status, whereas you can say that you feel blessed and stressed, more blessed and stressed, and too blessed to possibly become and be stressed, and moving right along. But then in all reality, I myself am not feeling too good at the moment. I'm feeling kind of under the weather. I thought it was getting better. Now it feels like I'm feeling worse, and I may have to just pay another dime a dozen visit to a local medical facility of a hospital, for a given neighborhood community, for a vicinity area. And this is like, say, or I say, regardless of whether or not I myself personally would have to do follow-up at a local clinic auxiliary affiliated or associated with and are representing the same or the same question and or the aforementioned. Anyway, though, I don't know what has happened with me at some or such given moment in time. I don't know what or who could have caused me to feel this way. And as I suspect, or as I have my suspicions, or whatever I have said, that it could possibly be the results of developments of this one particular main neighbor from damn hell, been of whom I have been telling you all about for the longest. And I'm really kind of sick and tired of talking about this rather creepy, cowardly, and or faggoty local neighborhood drug pusher and our parcel package stealer of a neighbor from damn hell among my present public nuisances of problem neighbors, as he himself represents less manhood than a much more familiar average cocksucking faggot. I'm not them homo bashing, I'm just telling like it is, as they say the truth and on the fact of the matter. And as he himself has been attempting to make my life a living damn hell for the longest, and which I have never done or said anything to him, to warrant and or justify all these here unwanted and or unwelcome, unwarranted and or unjustified nonsense of 2-cent power plays of different kinds, sorts, and types that he himself just continues to daily and or nightly orchestrate, initiate, and or perpetrate against me being a my person. And like, say, for example, from stalking me into the business office of the management, for that building which is on the first floor, and about a few floors down across from where I'm at, where it's all I'm doing is, from where I'm at for the entrance and exit way of the building here, and where it's all I'm doing so far as going in there to try to transact business with the real estate administrative representative personnel, and I say, being of which is to take care of the necessary business at hand to renew my apartment rental lease agreement, paperwork documents to be filled out and signed, and where she stalked me in there, just like I say, within that first minute, right behind me, shortly after I entered upon the premises and properties thereof, for an atmosphere in which from there he had attempted to flip the script and make it seem like he himself is the what you call the prey of a victim, and I myself am the predator parasite. Predator, you know what I'm saying? He's the predator, you know what I'm saying? Whatever I said. Two at one time or another, he had, nearly had rode his bicycle or bike, to simply say, into my person, not just once but twice, and was himself was just a couple few inches away from my physical body. Was he rode up behind me and then rode alongside of me, and did not bother to say excuse me, none whatsoever. So they had told me then and there that he himself had done that as he did on purpose. Sorry about the interruption or disruption or whatever I have said to the present social media broadcast. I don't know if you all had gotten that last, and I could possibly lose minutes after, the broad uh, social media video content were to resume, because that usually happens once some are such of an airhead internet troll, moonlighting as a computer hacker who could possibly be some of anybody, everybody, especially if one is of the likes of my present, proverbial neighbors from down hell, public problem neighbors. Anyway, I'm going to try this out regardless, And likewise, let me say it on state for the record. Like in addition to trying to resume from where I had last left off, and regardless of whether or not I were to, be able to transmit, that is, get all the minutes for however long I wish to broadcast, be it were to be for a half an hour, 30 minutes, or just a quarter hour, 15 minutes. And then if some of such were in play one way or another, you know what happened, and if I'm able to continue, then that'd be that as well. But anyway, though, and as a backtrack here, the reason purpose is being on start going with the problem to continue from where my person had last left off, so I can finish up as completed form pre-prior thought, as I was discussing about the 2 cent power plays of this one psychopath neighbor from down hell, of a rather creepy, cowardly, and faggoty parcel package stealing, and likewise drug pushing, dope dealing neighbor from down hell, of a non-white black male person with character who represents less manhood than a much more familiar faggot cocksucker. And whereas then there's the question of how he himself had did the same once again, riding his bicycle or his bike up on me, damn near hit me with some such. Didn't bother to say excuse me the second time, but for that second time around, he parks his bike in front of me and says to me from there, "I got something for you." And wasn't pulling out my cell phone. I'm saying from there, well, let me let my police friends know that you have something for me. Then his cowardly, but like the coward he is, rolled off on his bike. And once I had to call the police on him for that hate crime in his own right. Once I dialed the emergency telephone number 911 for police assistance, to how at one time or another still, he himself is like, sitting on the stoop outside the building, threatening my life, talking about what he'd do to me, or what he could have done to me, blah, 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 caused me to have to make contact with the police again, because of him, because I'm not going to let somebody make me feel like a hermit. And I'm not going to let him catch me with my draw down. And just in case something could possibly happen to me, they'll know whose apartment door to go knocking on. To how at one time or another, he himself is, like having his car parked alongside the building, threatening my life. And I'm not a night owl, but if I were to venture out in the night at an ungodly hour of the late night evening, it would be for emergency reasons or purposes. And that time was to go check on a brother that was in the hospital, and I couldn't see him, unfortunately, at that given on time. After this one neighbor from down here being the main one had threatened my life. Talking about, wait right there, I got something for you. Going into this rad, and then coming out with it. I'm not waiting around to find out what he got. To try to become a part of ridership of mass transit of a public transportation system with all this many different bus, train routes, and as that one is a part of it. Yeah. And so once again, I have to call the police on him. Anonymous number 911 for that particular hate crime, assault, and on human rights violation offense too. All right, one time or another, he's running down the sidewalk behind me, with one hand in his coat or jacket pocket, and like he himself is packing a gap or a piece and ready to have me slipping in the darkness, put my lights out or take my life from me. And whereas, regardless of the season of the year, be it word to have been for a winter or summer season, I'm not waiting around to find out what he got for me, be it real or bluff or whatever. And so I take a detour and change my mind and catch a bus route much rather than the train route. Instead, then I call the police on him. I got an emergency number of 911. 2 hours, one time I'm coming back from still another hospital for a physical ailment. And, I'm actually being treated by doctors and nurses. And here he is. He's standing in front entrance and exit way of the building. Once again, threatening my life, Yeah, he's standing there where at one moment time or another he's on the phone. I suppose more often than not, talking to one of his homies or a fellow riff-raff of the rank and file of the criminal elements in society, And whereas he himself could possibly already have passed some other accomplices in crime, and he is already upon the premises of properties, paying him a visit, as well as could possibly be talking to one over his own personal cell phone line. And whereas from there, I'm changing my mind about entering the building via that means and decide to try to enter via one of the back doors to the building, much rather instead of the front entrance as the way. And lo and behold, he must have ran from the front to the back because I barely made it into my apartment, unlocked, then closed and locked my apartment door back. And he's standing outside it, cussing and swearing, threatening my life, misbehaving like he himself is practically not possible on the verge of kicking my apartment door in a physical kind of way. And once I barely managed to get off emergency telephone call to the police, regardless of how my cell phone was dying and I'm recharging at the same time. Whereas this character, he would, this character been the same question, or likewise the aforementioned would usually go in and out of one or two back doors more than the other one. Mainly, I'm mostly one next to my apartment door, regardless of the lock mechanism being jammed and needing repairs, whereas therefore he would prop something in between the door and the border to make sure that he can come and go as easily as he pleases, as well as he could enter and exit the other back door with not any problems, none whatsoever. Then, because there's nothing wrong with this lock mechanism, whereas he don't need any repairs, So, this character of a male with his person of himself desperately needing some professional mental health services to be rendered in his behalf, if only he would seek it being a summer such and be willing to receive that being, you know. But then yet he continues to assume he has a legit personal vendetta or grudge match against my person, which I never done anything to him or said anything to him to warrant or justify all this hostility or hatred. Likewise, possibly, equals well jealousy, you know, for my person, you know, with the exception of complaining to the management of the building, as well as having made contact with the police equals well a number of times, you know, about his late night drug pushing, illegal criminal activities that would cause me to lose sleep and wake up late and start my day off late, you know. And ever since, you know, he found out that I'm the one complaining about him, it's been off to the races. He's been picking at me ever since. Like the cowardly bully or terrorist wannabe, sadist, sadistic, creepy, cowardly, not to mention faggoty male character as he is himself, and representing less manhood than a much more familiar average faggot, homo, or queer. And as I think he's gay now, with he himself continuing to focus his attentions upon me, you know, I'm like, sorry, I gave up the office, not interested in engaging in a fag freak fest with you. I had to find somebody else for that, you know. And no offense meant to any of the much more familiar Peter Pan fairies, you know. And no, I'm not a member of the Westboro Baptist Church, though I still could possibly contemplate becoming a member of it or some and such, regardless of how it has this rather blasphemous, contradictory emailing or blog or www.hatesfags.com. When, as I understand it, the God of my own understanding does not hate any faggots. He just hates their rather blasphemous alternative lifestyle preference, you know. And when I said that, nevertheless, I have contemplated joining the Westboro Baptist Church and still could possibly think about becoming a member of it, you know. Although some of the stuff they be saying I don't agree with compared to other things that they could say that be hitting on money 100% that I do agree with, you know. Well, so I say it's not only as a matter of fact, but for the sake of argument. And on this last note of interest, I would like to say, and that is, if you have not gotten Christ as your own personal Lord and Savior, I hope that you would think to do so now while the blood is still running warm in your veins by recognizing and realizing what he himself had done and did upon the cross of Calvary on his Golgotha, suffering at the hands of Roman soldiers up on the orders of their superiors, being religious Pharisees and Sadducees mainly, who had crucified him between two thieves, but then nevertheless was our Lord and Savior Christ said went to the cross of Calvary to become the first sacrifice, the only sacrifice for you, as well as we don't steal my trademark this possession. We had to copyright sometime unless I want to risk it being plagiarized. Whereas if any of us, regardless of race, walk, for life, gender, age, and etc., were to profess some such faith in him, that we would come to be blessed in one regard, none more is one. First and foremost, for the salvation, then which is only by which any of us can or could possibly become or be considered as citizens of the kingdom of heaven, and as his blood sacrifice and salvation, as the Lamb of God to take away the sins of the world, is the only fire insurance against the fiery flames, the lake of fire, damn hell that burns with fire, brimstone, and sulfuric acid, as God who had come in human flesh to provide that means of escape, you know, whereas he was transformed into a human, you know, to restore the breach between himself, you know, as God in human flesh and humankind of mankind made in his image, so that if any of us were to profess faith in him, we don't have to worry about ending up in a lake of fire down hell once our clock stopped ticking, you know, compared to those who would be the unsaved, lost down human souls of non-believers or unbelievers who would be burning and be tortured and terrorized by the devil and the demons forever, compared to how we as believers in God, as in Christians, aka Protestants, will be across that great divide that separates heaven from hell, and to come in like-minded believers in the presence of God as angels, once we were to make that transition for the hereafter, the afterlife, for the great beyond, and even so be blessed while we're down here upon the planet Earth in this world, you know, after having, you know, believed what Christ had done to fulfill biblical prophecy. And hopefully we would that much more become a blessing on the others by sharing with them that gospel message of salvation regarding, making reference to his great blood sacrifice that nothing nobody else can compare onto, as he is the only way into the kingdom of heaven and the only way to escape the lake of fire damn hell, that nothing or nobody else can, provide the means for any to possibly become a citizen in the kingdom of heaven and escape the lake of fire down hell. Because all roads do not lead to heaven. You all take care and be safe. Yeah. Peace.